anything I may have missed here too. The first thing we talked about was we wanted somebody calling 911. So Mike simulated, he told me I called 911, which is good. But the second part of that is we need somebody to like shout it out. 911's been called, because otherwise we could have 5 different people.
Yeah, I called 911.
See?
I did
So,
too.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the first thing, is make sure you're loud and tell whoever might be in charge, which we'll come back to that, but just make sure you shout it out. 911's been called. And when you call them, you want to give them the coordinates. You don't want to just say Weber Point Yacht Club, because it may not be that easy depending on who you get. So I'll come back to that, but you want to give them the coordinates. Who can tell me where the coordinates, several places you can find the coordinates immediately. Where are those?
Inside the club on the wall.
Yep. Where
Your
else?
phone,
Website.
Your phone? Where on your phone?
GPS app.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Frank put it on the
Cul-de-sac.
website.
And the website.
Yes.
Okay, so there's lots of places, but what we will be doing, on the inside of the fire door when you open it, we're gonna have a sign made with a checklist, and we'll have the coordinates right there too, okay? So we'll have all that there.
There's also a set of coordinates on the first aid kit.
Yes, bulletin board and the first aid.
Can I also
You need immediate.
suggest maybe above this door, that's just one spot right in there you see no matter where you are. A couple of spots coordinates. Another point,
Yeah,
and the name of the, I had to call Boat US 2 weeks ago. They do not know where everything is.
Yeah.
I think they do. As you get into this part of the Delta, this is not familiar territory.
sketchy,
And I told them Hog Island, that threw the guy off.
right,
And Acker Island is really Lost Isle.
okay,
But I marker 24 is where we were opposite from.
okay,
And then I gave them the coordinates. When I
Right.
gave them those 2 factors,
right,
and then they could
they can
figure
zero
out
it in.
where the heck we were.
Yeah, okay. The other thing is Frank came right up to me and said, I've cut the power. So again, shout it out if you're the person, okay, I've cut the power, shout it out so everybody knows. And we know along with that, then we don't have one of our pumps, which is electrical. So, you just have to kind of, and again, it may trip anyway, depending on where the fire is. That may not even be an option, we have to cut it, it could have already tripped. So just things again to be aware, but we did do those 2 things pretty well. A couple of you brought down the smaller dry fire extinguishers down to the gazebo. That was good. It's not like it's gonna maybe put out a whole, burning inferno, but it's a start. And especially if it's small, I just keep it in check till we can get our pumps down there. So that was good thinking, so thank you for doing that. Okay, where we might improve on. This is a little longer, okay. First mates, the only ones that Hal and I think that we noticed was Megan and Grace went to their boats. Otherwise, we had a lot of people down by the gazebo, but not everybody was actively doing something. So again, probably a good idea unless you're actually doing a task to maybe step out of the way of people that are trying to get hoses down and do what they're doing, and be on the back of your boat maybe for directions. Obviously if it's really at the gazebo, we want to get those boats away from the gazebo. So again, first mates, you ought to be probably not down in the area if you aren't actively doing something, and be on the boats waiting for instructions, okay? The other thing is our dock clippers that we've been talking about so regularly, we're still hanging in the closet the whole time. So nobody was on the dock ready to clip lines if we had to, okay?
You know what those are? You show me those?
Go right there.
And
Let's
they're
see.
only for doing that, not for gardening.
Yes.
Not for gardening.
They
No.
work well for bamboo.
That's what I
Yeah, those are only, that fire closet is not to be rated for anything else. The clippers, the gasoline, that is only for that room. If you need gasoline, you go up to the shed up there for the lawnmowers, whatever. There is gasoline up there now for that. Do not rob from here.
There really isn't much up there right now.
Yeah, but we will get it.
Yeah,
Yes. But do not come into that closet and rob gasoline, clippers, anything. We don't need those clippers to be dull because we've been clipping vegetation with them. So, okay, there's plenty of tools up there. But the other thing that we should have done, is we have garden hoses right out here on the dock. Get those down there. I mean, it's something until we can get the big equipment, the big guns down there. So get those down there. They're right there. They're right in plain sight, and that's the things you kind of miss sometimes. So get those down there.
There was a visitor here, actually pointed that out, and he said it out loud, and then everybody looked, and then they grabbed the fire hoses, I mean, the garden
The
hoses.
garden hoses.
Cause that's a
There is
mean.
one on the gazette right there.
Yeah.
Nobody,
Yeah, like I said,
Oh,
And we
kind of
know
hiding
your,
in plain sight.
we know your story, Carrie, because Carrie put one.
Yes,
on
you
there.
did.
yes, I did fight the fire, yeah.
Yes, you did. Okay. And we did have, well, we had an issue because there was no gas to do the gas fire, extinguisher. So that's a problem. So again, we need to make sure, we aren't necessarily always gonna keep gas in the extinguisher or in the hose fire pump itself, because sometimes it can gel up or whatever. But, there'll always be the gas can right there to fill it if you need to, and then roll it on down. So just FYI, we are looking at replacing that. Hal has come up with a really good, substitute or a replacement for it. We're gonna investigate it a little bit more. I'm gonna send it out to all the board to look at before our September meeting. And if we decide to go with that, we already have, a few people that have stepped up and said that they would donate toward that. So, but we'll get board approval and, look at all the particulars, make sure that will suit our needs best. But it's much more, effective the way it's designed and compact, and you aren't pulling different hoses, different places, kicking them in and all this stuff.
It's real easy to start.
Yes, yes. Honda, right?
You don't have to fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Nick donated a gas can and gas.
Yes,
Okay.
I know, we're getting there.
yeah. Okay, anything else I missed? Anything else, Roger?
No,
Okay.
except, he did bring a gas can and has given us a new gas can for the.
For the fire
pump,
pump
fire
only.
pumps.
Yes, fire closet only.
And that was very helpful.
And then, like I said.
Other
yes,
people don't take the gas out of here to use up there, and that's what's happened. Is the gas is taken out of here and taken up there. So we don't wanna do that. That gas is for the fire pump, not any
Yeah.
starting the lawnmowers or anything
No,
else.
all that is secondary. We need to make sure that that's operational, ready to go should we need it. And like I said, we're gonna get a sign made to put on the inside of that door when you open. It's just sort of a checklist of 911, coordinates, cut power, get the clippers, just a few of the very basic top 6 things or whatever. That way it's right there in front of you and nobody's forgetting anything. So, is there anything you guys noticed that, or you can think of that maybe we should add to the list, or we could have done differently that we didn't see?
You still didn't put it on the list, did you, Hal? She
She's
did a
the one
wonderful
that went
thing.
to
My
her
first
boat.
mate did a wonderful thing by getting out of the way. But on the boat closest to the fire, she was in a recliner watching TV instead of starting.
We're not gonna throw braces.
I am not gonna start that boat and drive, okay? I'd probably crash into one of those logs that are on the
You
side,
don't
okay?
have to drive, but
Come on,
reality
ladies,
is,
you all need to know how to drive the boat.
well, start the boat at least.
I know how to do that.
So there's, one other thing came up,
Yes.
with Scott, we got the electric pump going.
Right.
And it's pumping water, and the nozzle was not open. We're waiting for the water,
Oh,
which isn't gonna make it there because it's full of air. So basically, you need to open the
okay.
the nozzle and wait for the water to come, because it's not gonna come if it's closed.
Oh, good
And
point.
that's gonna be true on.
Oh, I would say, yeah. I
You
think we
never
probably
charge
looked at
your
that.
line without, telling the firefighters, always look for the guy turning the valve on to charge the line.
Yeah.
Water comes.
Well, Frank and I were looking at each other, and he's like, "It's going," and you could see it start to go, and I'm like, "But it's not coming." As soon as I did the end of the nozzle. So if you're not sure, at least turn it halfway so it's not one way or the other.
Oh, there you go.
That way, you know you're in the middle, and the
Right,
air will
something.
at least come out.
The
Yeah.
air will come out, yes.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I do like Dave's recommendation that the coordinates
Mm-hmm,
are just put someplace, because we
Yeah.
may not be calling for a fire,
right,
and we may not be in the fire closet, but if you've got a medical emergency or something else,
yeah,
is putting those coordinates someplace where they are.
Yeah.
Really easy to see.
for sure.
Many places, yeah.
Yeah.
Power Squadron has theirs, routed out on a sign that they keep on the front of their thing, so maybe our handy cabinet man can route out over it.
Or
I can
Rhonda,
have-
you can have a
I
sign.
can have one made and it won't, weather, you know, one of the actual,
The metal.
the metal ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get one made before I
Really good.
change jobs. Yes,
If you do have a sign made, which
Yes.
I think is great, and put it up there, can you make it pretty big? So
Yes.
if you're standing down there by a piling, you can see it?
yeah, no, you're right. It needs
Because
to
there's
be
no use,
visible.
you know.
Yeah, that's not, yeah,
Yeah,
You need binoculars too then.
yeah, for sure,
exactly.
for sure.
My
Yes.
Would you
suggestion
like
is
me
you
to
put
type
one
up
on
those and
your
add
own
to
boat.
the minutes where we talked about the fire?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Would you like me to type up those notes to add to the minutes?
I'll go ahead, I've got it pretty well here,
Oh, good.
unless
Okay.
you've been taking it, it might be a little difficult, so I'll send an email out to everybody after
Good.
this week and say this is what we've talked about, and be aware.
Good.
Maybe in September, Labor Day, we can do another drill with the hoses, just again, so the women, you know, we've done it before, but well, I'm telling you, those hoses are heavy, when that water comes down, you better be ready for it. Or it'll knock you on your butt and your water's, you know, going everywhere. Yes, Terry?
Yeah, just one thing, a rule we have out here, and sometimes it doesn't get followed. Excuse me, the key rule is, if you come out here and you're the first person here, you come through that door over there, first thing you do is unlock the fire
Yes,
tread. You know,
always,
that's the basic rule. I've come up sometimes and it's still locked.
yeah,
In a panic, you know, trying to get the
Right.
little tumbler going, you're liable to hit the wrong digits
yeah,
and waste 5 minutes,
yeah,
you know, getting the pump out, so. That's the first thing and the last thing to lock.
always, you're right, good reminder, I'll make sure to put that. One other quick thing before I forget, it's been suggested too that we get a larger, did you say it's a 5-pound? Water?
Yeah, we were talking
fire
about
extinguisher?
5 pound strike chemical
Somebody does.
extinguisher.
Having a bigger, the bigger
Fire
fire
extinguisher.
extinguisher, not the little
Yeah.
ones
Yeah.
like this,
Yeah.
but a bigger one.
They only
Because
last short.
that only lasts just a very short time.
That's for a
Yeah.
stove fire.
Yeah, exactly, it's not, and then the other thing is, I'm sure you all know this, but I'm just gonna state the obvious. When you trying to put out the fire, don't be worrying about the flames, you wanna go to the base, to the source. So that's where you're gonna be shooting everything, okay? Okay, okay, Scott,
One other thing too is just when we're doing stuff here for the weekend, or whenever the event is make sure you don't put anything in front of that door.
right,
Cause a lot of times things get shuffled around and they get slid
Yeah.
over and put in front of the door, and just make sure the door is always clear.
okay, anything else?
Well,
You read me scribbling?
well, I think, it was a good exercise. I learned a lot of things, how the gas got away from us. So now, yes, got away.
And normally in an actual fire, if we're all here, obviously Hal's the safety person, so he'd be the one kind of directing things. Of course, we didn't have it yesterday because we were trying to observe, but normally you would, if Hal's not here, somebody needs to step up and say, okay, we're doing this, we're doing that, you know what I mean? So we're not all just looking and there's no order to the chaos.
Whoever the senior member is here, or the person who is knowledgeable and capable of running a fire scene, that's the person you want in front of you, to directing people to
Rhonda?
do the right things.
In my experience, working for the fire department,
Right?
you have a designated person or two or
Mhm.
three
Mm-hmm.
to back up that can run a fire scene.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
maybe, you know, that's something that we could look at.
yeah, no, definitely. Okay,
Okay, let's.
but we
It
didn't
was a good
fail.
exercise.
Oh, wait,
You-
Frank,
you-
Frank has one more thing. Terry, one more thing.
On a different topic,
Uh-huh,
can I talk about it tonight?
sure.
When you're a little kid and you go swimming and you lose your towel, your parents tell you, okay, well, next time, you're not gonna get a towel. And I lost my towel. Anybody has a towel that doesn't belong to them, it's